The sunlight danced across the highway as our car rolled toward Miami. I sat quietly in the back seat, trying to catch a word of conversation between my son Jay and his wife Valentina. But their laughter filled the space, leaving no room for me. They were talking about spa treatments and dinner reservations as if I didn't exist. I smiled politely, even when my heart ached. At 72, I didn't ask for much, just time with my family. When Jay suggested a week-long trip to the coast, I thought it was his way of rebuilding what we'd lost over the years. I wanted to believe this trip would bring us closer, but deep down, I sensed something colder between us. The coastal paradise resort came into view. White marble, palm trees, and fountains that sparkled in the Florida sun. My chest swelled with pride. It wasn't just a hotel to me. It was my creation, the crown jewel of the business I'd built from nothing. But my family had no idea. They thought I was just a retired widow living off savings. Jay handed the keys to the valet while Valentina adjusted her designer sunglasses. Her beauty was flawless, her tone sharp. "Remember, Jay," she said, "I want the penthouse suite. No excuses." Inside, the lobby shimmered with gold accents and ocean views. I spotted Jasmine at the front desk, loyal, professional, and the best manager I'd ever hired. Her eyes widened when she saw me, but I gave her a small shake of my head. Not yet. They didn't know who I was, and I wasn't ready for them to. "Good afternoon," Jasmine greeted. "Welcome to the Coastal Paradise Resort. How can I help you?" "Reservation under Carter," Jay said confidently. "We'll take the penthouse." "I'm sorry, sir. The penthouse is fully booked, but your deluxe suite is ready." Valentina's voice cut through the air like glass. "That's unacceptable. Do you even know who we are?" Guests began to stare. I stepped forward gently. "Valentina, maybe we could—" "Don't talk to her," she screamed, pointing at me. "She's just the help." The world stopped. My son laughed. My cheeks burned as humiliation flooded through me. She didn't know the truth, that I owned everything around her. But she was about to learn. That evening, the air smelled of salt and roasted garlic as the sun melted into the Miami horizon. I sat across from Jay and Valentina at the resort's rooftop restaurant, a place I designed years ago to make people fall in love with sunsets again. Valentina swirled her wine glass, unimpressed. "You'd think a resort this expensive would have better service," she said loudly enough for the waiter to hear. Jay chuckled beside her, too eager to please. I stared at them, wondering when my son had learned to measure worth in money and appearances. Once upon a time, he used to run barefoot in the rain, laughing, muddy, and free. Now, he couldn't stand a wrinkle on his shirt. When the waiter laughed, I tried to soften the tension. "It's beautiful here, isn't it? The ocean looks alive tonight." Valentina gave me a thin smile. "It's fine, but you probably wouldn't understand luxury like this." I blinked, feeling the sting behind her words. "You'd be surprised what I understand." Jay reached for Valentina's hand. "Mom, don't take it the wrong way. Val just means—" "I know what she means," I interrupted gently. For a moment, silence stretched across the table. Then, as if remembering something amusing, Valentina laughed. "You know, Jay, I told you your mom reminds me of that old cleaning lady from our neighborhood. What was her name? Dora?" Jay smirked. "Yeah, Dora." The laughter cut deeper than they realized. I stared at my son, my only child, and wondered how love could turn into this, a stranger sitting in front of me wearing my son's face. Suddenly, Jasmine appeared at our table. "Mrs. Carter," she whispered discreetly, "the general manager just confirmed the new board meeting schedule. Do you want me to prepare your folder tonight?" Jay froze. Valentina frowned. Board meeting? I smiled calmly. Yes, Jasmine. Tomorrow morning will be perfect. When she left, Jay leaned forward. Mom, what's going on? Why would you have a board meeting here? I folded my napkin, eyes steady. Because this resort is mine. Valentina laughed nervously. Yours? As in, you work here? No, I said, my voice quiet but sharp. As in, I built it. Every wall, every window, every stone you've complained about. Her glass slipped from her fingers, shattering against the marble floor. Heads turned. I didn't flinch. Jay stared at me, as if he'd never seen me before. You own this place? I met his gaze. Yes, and tomorrow you'll find out just how much more I own. The next morning, Miami glowed beneath a pale orange sunrise. For my suite, I watched the waves roll in like slow applause. The world had no idea what was coming, and neither did my son or his wife. At 9 a.m., the conference hall buzzed with resort staff and board members. Suits, laptops, lanyards, the organized chaos of business I knew too well. I entered quietly, but as soon as they saw me, everyone stood. Good morning, Mrs. Carter, they greeted in unison. Across the room, Jay froze. He had followed me, curious. Valentina trailed behind, her heels clicking like knives on tile. The chairman, a tall man with silver hair, smiled warmly. Mrs. Carter, we're honored you decided to attend today. The quarterly reports are ready. Jay's voice trembled. Mom, you're Mrs. Carter? I turned to face him. I always was. I could see his mind racing. The name on every document, every marble plaque, every sign at the entrance. He had never realized they all bore our last name because they were mine. Jasmine handed me the report. Revenue up 12% this quarter. Staff satisfaction at 93%. Your leadership continues to inspire me. I smiled faintly. Thank you, Jasmine. Let's discuss expansion into California next. Valentina leaned toward Jay, whispering harshly, You mean she's been rich all this time and didn't tell us? Jay's face went pale. After the meeting, I walked toward the terrace where the ocean breeze swept through the open windows. Jay followed me. Why didn't you ever tell me, Mom? Why hide this? I replied softly. Because you stopped listening long before I had anything to say. He rubbed his face, guilt clouding his features. I didn't mean to. Yes, you did, I said, but not cruelly. You wanted to build your own empire. I wanted to see if you could. But somewhere along the way, you let someone else write your values for you. Behind him, Valentina crossed her arms. So what? You're rich. Congratulations. But that doesn't change the fact that you embarrassed us last night. I turned to her. No, Valentina. You embarrassed yourself. Her eyes widened, not from my words, but from the sight of two reporters entering the hall. Mrs. Carter, one of them called, we heard rumors you'll be donating part of your resort's profits to the local women's shelter. Is it true? I smiled for the cameras. Yes, and I'll be making the announcement tonight at the charity gala, where the people who once looked down on others will learn what true grace looks like. Valentina's jaw dropped. Jay looked away. The tide outside crashed louder than before. The ballroom shimmered under crystal chandeliers. Gold linens, soft jazz, and the scent of orchids filled the air. Miami's elite had gathered. Investors, politicians, celebrities, all waiting for the owner of Coastal Paradise Resort to take the stage. I stood near the balcony, dressed in a long silver gown. It had been years since I'd worn something so fine, but tonight wasn't about glamour. Tonight was about truth. Jay and Valentina entered late, their expressions tight. Valentina wore a crimson dress that screamed confidence, but whispered desperation. Jay looked as though he hadn't slept. He stayed close to her, though I could tell his heart wasn't in it anymore. The host took the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and owner of Coastal Paradise, Miss Renee Carter. Applause filled the room. For a moment, I felt a lump rise in my throat. All those years of struggle, building something from the ashes of grief after losing my husband, had led to this moment. I walked to the podium slowly. The lights were bright, but I could still see my son in the crowd. He looked small. Good evening, I began. When I built this resort, I wanted it to be more than a place to rest. I wanted it to be a symbol of resilience, of what a woman can create when the world tells her she can't. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Cameras flashed. I continued. Many people see success as wealth, but true success isn't about what you own. It's about what you give. I paused, letting the silence sink in. Then I smiled. That's why tonight I'm donating 40% of this resort's annual revenue to the Miami Women's Shelter to support mothers, daughters, and grandmothers who've been forgotten just as I once was. The crowd erupted into applause, but in the corner of my eye, I saw Valentina's face twist. Jay clapped hesitantly, pride and shame warring in his eyes. When the speech ended, guests surrounded me with congratulations. Valentina stayed behind, whispering angrily to Jay. I caught fragments of her words. Wasted money, publicity stunt, she's lost it. Later, as the music softened, I found myself alone on the terrace overlooking the ocean. Jay approached quietly. You were incredible, Mom. I mean it. I turned to him, the city lights reflecting in my eyes. Thank you, Jay. But I didn't do this for applause. I did it to remind you who you are, or who you used to be. He swallowed hard. I don't know if I can fix things with you. You can, I said softly, but you'll have to start by choosing the kind of man you want to be, not the kind of woman you want to please. The wind picked up, carrying the faint sound of the waves. Inside, Valentina stood alone, her smile cracking like broken glass. The next morning, Miami was restless. Storm clouds rolled in over the ocean, painting the sky gray. I sat by the window of my suite, sipping black coffee, watching the waves crash against the shore. The gala had changed everything, not just for me, but for Jay and Valentina too. My phone buzzed. It was Jasmine. Mrs. Carter, she said, her voice careful. There's a situation you should know about. Within minutes, I was in the executive office. On the large monitor, security footage played. Valentina, late at night, in the accounting department, talking to a man I recognized instantly. Elliot Graves, a rival investor who'd once tried to buy my resort at half its value. They were exchanging documents. My documents. Jasmine lowered her voice. She copied your financial files, ma'am. Looks like she promised him inside access in exchange for a private deal. For a long moment, I said nothing. The truth didn't surprise me. It only confirmed what my heart had already known. Keep this between us, I said finally, for now. When I returned to my room, Jay was waiting, nervous and pale. Mom, Val telling me you accused her of stealing. Please tell me that's not true. I haven't accused anyone, I replied calmly. I've simply seen the truth. He frowned. You're making a mistake. Valentina loves me. She's been trying to help. Help herself, I said sharply. You just can't see it yet. Jay's voice rose. Why are you always judging her? You've never given her a chance. Because she's not the one who needs another chance. You are. He turned away, running a hand through his hair. You think you can control everything, Mom, even me, but you can't. I looked at him. My son, the boy I'd once rocked to sleep, now standing as a man torn between greed and love. I don't want control, I whispered. I want clarity. Before he could respond, the door burst open. Valentina stood there, eyes wide. You think you can ruin me? You think this place makes you powerful? I didn't move. Power doesn't come from a building, Valentina. It comes from integrity. She stepped closer, trembling. You've taken everything from me. No, I said, standing tall. You took it from yourself. For a heartbeat, no one spoke. Then she grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door so hard the walls shook. Jay stood frozen, torn between chasing her and facing me. Go, I said softly. Find out what kind of love you've really built. He left without another word. I stood alone in the quiet room, the storm outside finally breaking. Lightning flashed over the ocean, the sky crying for all of us. By dawn, the storm had passed, but the damage wasn't over. I walked into the resort lobby that morning and instantly felt it. Whispers, nervous glances, tension floating in the air like smoke. Something had shifted. Jasmine met me near the elevators, her phone in hand. Mrs. Carter, she said softly, you should see this. On her screen was a breaking news alert. Scandal at Coastal Paradise. Insider leaks financial data. The article showed a blurry image of Valentina entering the accounting room with Elliot Graves. My heart didn't race. It stayed steady. Truth always finds its way out, even if it has to crawl through dirt to get there. Jay appeared seconds later, disheveled, holding his phone. Mom, I can explain. No, Jay, I interrupted. It's her turn to explain. As if on cue, Valentina stormed in, wearing oversized sunglasses and defiance like armor. Cameras from the local news followed her. This is harassment, she shouted. That video was edited. I didn't steal anything. Jasmine stood her ground. The footage came from internal security, time-stamped and verified. Valentina turned to Jay, voice trembling. You believe me, right? Tell them. Jay looked lost, trapped between the truth and the person he wanted her to be. His lips parted, but no words came. I stepped forward, calm and deliberate. I once told you wouldn't understand luxury, Valentina. But here's what you don't understand. Luxury without honor is just decoration. Gasps rippled through the lobby. Reporters scribbled notes, cameras clicked, flashes burst. I raised my chin slightly. I've spent 40 years building this resort on trust and hard work. I won't let greed or deceit stain it. Valentina, your access to all company assets is revoked, effective immediately. Security approached, but she backed away, her mask cracking. You can't do this. I already have. Jay's face fell as realization hit him. His world, their world, was collapsing. Valentina's fury twisted into desperation. You'll regret this, old woman. Perhaps, but I'll never regret choosing truth. As she was escorted out, silence settled over the room. The kind of silence that follows a storm. I turned to the staff gathered nearby. This resort will not be defined by scandal. It will be defined by resilience. Applause broke out, hesitant at first, then strong. Even Jay clapped quietly, eyes downcast. Later that afternoon, I sat by the ocean again. The waves rolled steady, endless. Jay joined me, wordless at first. "Mom," he finally whispered, "you were right. I never wanted to be right. I just wanted you to see." He nodded slowly. "What happens now?" I smiled faintly. Now we rebuild. Not the resort, but ourselves. The following week felt quieter, like the ocean itself had grown tired. The resort ran smoothly again, guests smiling, staff at peace. But inside me, there was a still ache I couldn't ignore. Jay had moved out of the penthouse suite and into one of the smaller guest villas by the garden. He didn't speak much, but I could see in his eyes that he was trying to face what he'd lost and what he'd done. One morning, I found him sitting on a bench near the koi pond, staring at the water. I approached slowly. "Beautiful, isn't it?" I said. He nodded without looking up. "Yeah, peaceful." For a long moment, we said nothing. Only the sound of the waterfall filled the space between us. Finally, Jay sighed. "I don't even know who I am anymore, Mom. Everything I thought mattered, Val, the lifestyle, the deals, it all feels fake now." I sat beside him. "That's because it was fake, Jay. But that doesn't mean you can't start again." He turned to me, guilt in his face. "You gave me everything. I took it for granted. I let her talk me into treating you like—" "Don't," I said gently. "You don't need to finish that sentence." He swallowed hard. "I wish I could go back." "You can't," I whispered, "but you can go forward differently." The breeze moved through the palms, warm and light. Jay leaned back, staring up at the sky. "Do you ever get lonely, Mom?" I smiled faintly. "I used to, but now I think loneliness is just the price of loving deeply. You give so much that when it's gone, the silence feels heavier than it should." He looked down, eyes glistening. "I don't deserve your forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't something you earn. It's something someone gives because they're ready to heal." He covered his face with his hands. "I don't know how to fix everything. Start small. Apologize. Mean it. Work hard. And this time, listen more than you speak." For the first time in years, he smiled. Tired, but real. We sat there as the sun began to rise higher, the koi glimmering gold beneath the surface. For the first time, I didn't see my son as the man who'd hurt me. I saw him as the boy who still had a chance to grow. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. The days that followed carried a delicate rhythm. Miami's sun was relentless, but the heat no longer felt oppressive. It mirrored the warmth slowly seeping back into our fractured family. Jay had started spending mornings helping around the resort. At first, it was simple, talking to staff, checking rooms, assisting with small tasks. The pride in their eyes was evident. Even Jasmine noticed his sincerity. "He's really trying, ma'am," she said softly. "It's like seeing a different man." I observed quietly, remembering the boy who once clung to my side during thunderstorms, trembling but trusting me completely. Now, that same boy, the man he had become, was learning humility the hard way. to the executive lounge. "Sit," I said. "We need to talk about the kids." He nodded, nervous. I don't know where to start." "Start with honesty," I said. "They've been misled. It's time to tell them the truth about you, about us." Jay exhaled slowly. "I don't want to scare them or upset them. They already think so much." "You won't scare them," I said. "You'll show them that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you try to fix them." We rehearsed what he would say to Zuri and Deshaun. I encouraged him to be vulnerable, to admit his faults, and to acknowledge Valentina's lies without dwelling on blame. Later that day, he knelt in front of his children in the garden, speaking from the heart. I watched silently, a mix of pride and relief filling me. They didn't recoil. They listened, and slowly their eyes softened. Meanwhile, I began mentoring a group of young women visiting the resort for a leadership seminar, teaching them how to manage hotels, how to negotiate, how to rise in male-dominated industries. It reminded me why I had worked so hard for decades. My empire was not built for recognition alone. It was built to empower others. By nightfall, Jay joins me on the terrace, a gentle breeze carrying the scent of the ocean. "Mom," he said quietly, "thank you for believing in me, even when I didn't deserve it. You're still learning, but that's life. Mistakes are inevitable. Redemption is a choice." We sat in silence, watching the horizon glow pink and gold. For the first time, I felt the weight of betrayal lift slightly. The storm had passed, leaving behind a calm we had both been waiting for. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. There were still conversations to have, apologies to be made, trust to be rebuilt. But for the first time, I could see the possibility of a real family again. And in that quiet moment, I realized that second chances weren't just for others, they were for me too. The following week felt like a gentle awakening. The resort hummed with life, laughter of children, clinking glasses, and the soft rhythm of waves on the shore. Yet the most meaningful sounds for me were the little voices calling my name. Zuri and Deshaun had begun to warm up. At first it was cautious, small smiles, fleeting eye contact, hesitant questions about the sandcastles we built or the seashells we collected. But each day, I saw their curiosity bloom into trust. "Grandma, can you teach me to make a real sandcastle?" Zuri asked one morning, her eyes shining with excitement. "Of course," I replied, kneeling beside her. Together, we sculpted towers and moats, laughing as the tide threatened our creations. Deshaun even joined, carefully measuring angles and proudly declaring, "This one is stronger than any hotel wall." Watching them, I remembered the trips I had taken with Jay when he was their age, how simple moments could form the strongest bonds. I realized that no wealth, no empire could replace this: presence, patience, and attention. Jay approached, observing quietly from the lounge chairs. He had started spending afternoons helping the children with small projects, reading, drawing, and even simple games. For the first time in years, I saw his eyes soft, unguarded, and truly present. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of orange and violet, we had a quiet family dinner on the terrace. No orders, no control, just food and conversation. Jay looked at me. "Mom, I never realized. I was so focused on what I wanted, I forgot what really matters." I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "It's not too late to remember." Zuri and Deshaun chimed in, asking about our adventures in the hotel business, the stories behind the resort's design, and even little secrets about their father as a child. Laughter bubbled up naturally, no prompting needed, no tension lingering. In that moment, I understood something profoundly. Rebuilding a family doesn't erase the past, but it lays a foundation strong enough to weather future storms. Later that night, as I walked alone on the shoreline, the moonlight reflecting on the calm ocean, I felt a rare sense of peace. The betrayal, the humiliation, the anger, all of it had shaped me, yes, but it hadn't defeated me. I had my family back, in pieces at first, but real, and that was a triumph greater than any business success. And somewhere in the distance, Miami's lights twinkled, echoing the promise of new beginnings. The final morning of our trip dawned bright and clear. The Miami sky stretched endlessly, a brilliant blue canvas reflecting the calm within me. For the first time in days, I felt completely present, not a guest, not an owner, not a victim, but simply me. Jay and the children were in the garden, laughing as Zuri attempted to build another sandcastle, Deshaun carefully sculpting walls around it. I watched, a quiet pride swelling in my chest. The warmth in their laughter was a balm that had healed wounds I thought might never close. I glanced at Jay, who finally met my eyes with something resembling the boy I once knew. "Mom," he said softly, "thank you for everything. You've earned it, not because I forgive you, but because you chose to change." Breakfast was relaxed, unhurried. Valentina was no longer a looming shadow, her absence a relief more than a triumph. There was no bitterness, only clarity. The family I loved had survived the storm, and the toxic threads that threatened it had been cut. Afterward, I walked through the resort, the halls, the gardens, the private cabanas, each space a testament to decades of work, determination, and vision. It was more than a building, it was a legacy, and this legacy was mine, untainted and whole. Jasmine approached with a smile. "The staff wanted me to tell you, everyone feels the difference. The resort feels lighter, happier." "That's good to hear," I said, feeling the weight of years of responsibility settle into a quiet satisfaction. I spent the afternoon with Zuri and Deshaun, teaching them how to make paper boats and racing them across the tide. Deshaun joined in, laughter and light teasing bridging the distance that had grown between us. For the first time, our family felt cohesive, not because of wealth or influence, but because of love, honesty, and effort. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, I stood on the balcony of my penthouse suite, watching the waves shimmer under golden light. For decades, I had built businesses, created opportunities, and protected my family. But this peace, this connection, was worth more than any empire I had ever owned. Jay came beside me quietly. "Mom, are you happy?" I smiled, the answer clear in the calm of my heart. "I am. Not because life is perfect, but because I am finally free. Free from deceit, from shame, and from fear. Free to be the grandmother, mother, and woman I was always meant to be." He nodded, understanding the weight of those words. "I hope I can live up to that example," he said. "You will," I replied, squeezing his shoulder. "As long as you remember what truly matters, respect, honesty, and love. That's the only legacy worth leaving." As night fell, I watched the city lights twinkle across the water. The storm had passed, the family had healed, and my heart, though older, wiser, and battle-scarred, was full. I had fought, I had survived, and I had reclaimed everything that mattered. And for the first time in a long time, I felt complete. completely free.